20 years ago in 2004, WWE held the pay-per-view Bad Blood for the last time. After 13 years, WWE announced that Bad Blood would return in 2017, but plans got scrapped and they went in favour of the pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire, which, if you ask me, isn't an upgrade. But as of tonight, Bad Blood will be back. And I'm taking a little look at all the competitors from 2004's pay-per-view of Bad Blood. The first match of the night saw Batista defeat Maven in 3 minutes 44 seconds. This match was aired on Sunday Night Heat though, prior to Bad Blood. So let's start with Maven. Maven would carry on the year with his feud with Batista and would eventually go on to an elimination match at Survivor Series that year, teaming with Randy Orton, Redacted and Chris Jericho to face Triple H, Batista, Gene Snitsky and Edge. Maven would tag with Simon Dean and, to be honest, not do a lot else while being released in July 2005. Maven would then go on to have a few matches in TNA and do a bit of independent work. Not really amounting to much. Definitely his WWE run was sort of the best of his career. He's now gone on to have quite a good sort of growing YouTube channel that I'm a big fan of. So I feel like this is starting to become some of his best work, talking about his stories from his time in WWE. Batista. As for Batista, Batista has just achieved everything. During this time, he was halfway through his run with Evolution. He would go on to become 2-time WWE Champion, 4-time World Heavyweight Champion, 3-time World Tag Team Champion, 1-time WWE Tag Team Champion, and 2-time Royal Rumble winner before leaving the WWE for Hollywood, to where his best role has probably been being Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy series. Since then, he's also had a little return WWE in 2018-19 as well. He's even been announced that he'll be put into the Hall of Fame. When that's going to happen now, we don't know, but he's an official entrant to be. The first match of Bad Blood itself was for the World Tag Team Championship, where Le Resistance defended their titles against Redacted and Edge. Right, we'll get the first one out of the way. A very, very good wrestler. One of the best, some would say. But what happened at the end of his life is something we're not going to talk about on this channel, and I don't want to. There's plenty of channels that covered it. I don't want to start a conspiracy theory or anything like that. No. Edge. Edge is a lot more exciting. One of the most decorated wrestlers of all time, with an outstanding list from his time in the WWE. Obviously, some of this was before Bad Blood, some of it was after. But during his time, he had won the WWE Championship 4 times, World Heavyweight 7 times, WWF/WWE Intercontinental Championship 5 times, WCW United States Championship 1 time, World Tag Team Championship 12 times, WWE Tag Team Championship 2 times, King of the Ring in 2001, Money in the Bank 2005, Royal Rumble in 2010 and 2021. The man has won nearly everything, and now he has gone on to compete in AEW, where he has gone on to be the AEW TNT Championship twice. He's currently out with a fractured tibia, and was stripped of his title at the time due to his injury, and we're not really sure where his future lies within wrestling. But even if it stopped here, what a hell of a career. Le Resistance, Sylvain Grenier, Robert Conway, Rene Dupree. At the time, was just Grenier and Conway. They would have a decent run before leaving the WWE, would have won the World Tag Team Championship 4 times. They'd have a couple of reformations, but didn't really achieve too much after that point, and would eventually be let go, and would all be eventually released across 2007 from the WWE. The second match of the night saw Tyson Tomko, accompanied by Trish Stratus, versus Chris Jericho. Tyson Tomko would only be in the company for another sort of year and a half, and would end his time in WWE on good terms, where he would then go on to work in New Japan for 2 years, on to TNA for another 2 years, followed by a little break in Japan, followed by coming back to TNA for another year, On to the Indies for sort of the end of his career towards 2016, and left with a couple of championships. He'd won the TNA World Tag Team Championship with AJ Styles in TNA. He'd managed to pick up the IWGP Tag Team Championship in New Japan with Giant Bernard, otherwise known as Matt Bloom. Chris Jericho, another ridiculously decorated wrestler. Chris Jericho's gone on to do things not only in wrestling, but he's also formed his own band, Fozzy, and performed live at so many great venues, including performing live twice at Wembley whilst in AEW, performing his own entrance music. Having been in WCW beforehand, he would move to WWE in 1999, where he would stick around until 2005, where he would then take a little break after his contract expired in August. In 2007, he'd make his way back to WWE and stick around for another 3 years. He'd take around another year break for another 7 years in WWE, and then disappear again, with a little trip over to New Japan thrown in for the mix. He would then join the new company, All Elite Wrestling. He would become their inaugural world champion. Since then, he has stayed in AEW. Like Edge, Jericho has had a ridiculously good career since Bad Blood. Just to name a few, he's won the AEW World Championship once, the FTW Championship once, the Undisputed WWF Championship once, the World Heavyweight Championship 3 times, WCW/World Championship twice, the Intercontinental Championship 9 times, the US Championship 2 times, the European Championship, the Hardcore Championship, 7 different Tag Team Championships in WWE, as well as winning the Intercontinental Championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The man has done most things. Shelton Benjamin's up next. Shelton Benjamin would lose his match for the Intercontinental Championship at Bad Blood. Go on from this match to win the Intercontinental Championship 3 times in his career in WWE. He would have spells in Ring of Honor, New Japan, on the Indies, Pro Wrestling Noah, and would even make a return to WWE. And he's currently in All Elite Wrestling, where he has been reunited with his former Hurt Business member, MVP. Benjamin would win the 24/7 Championship 3 times, the United States Championship 1 time, the Intercontinental Championship 3 times, the Raw Tag Team Championship 3 times. Randy Orton. Randy Orton won his Intercontinental Championship, just a phenomenal athlete and still ever growing. Randy is currently 24 years deep into his run with WWE, and there's no sign of that relationship stopping. He had a World Heavyweight Championship run. He's feuded with the Undertaker. He's been the R-rated RKO. He went to being back to being WWE Champion. He joined the Legacy with then tag team partners Ted DiBiase Jr. and with the current undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. He went and had another World Heavyweight Championship reign. He then joined the Authority, became part of the Wyatt family, became a United States Champion, returned as the Legend Killer, feuded with The Fiend, RK Bro, that was probably the worst, and he's had a couple of issues with injury over the last few years, but he's starting to get back to his very best. And his WWE reign reads as 10 WWE Championships, 4 World Heavyweight Championships, 1 Intercontinental, 1 United States, a World Tag Team Champion, a Raw Tag Team Champion twice, a SmackDown Champion once, a Money in the Bank winner, a 2-time Royal Rumble winner. He's going to achieve even more in his career, I have no doubt. And maybe another world title run is on the cards at some point. The 4th match of the night saw Trish Stratus defeat Victoria, Lita, and Gail Kim for the WWE Women's Championship. Victoria was the champion coming in, so we'll talk about Victoria first. She would stay with the company for another 5 years, where she would have various feuds. But unfortunately for her, her WWE career, she'd have already peaked. She wouldn't go on to win any more women's championships, eventually leaving the company in 2009, going to TNA, where she would stay there until 2013, and she'd run on to the Indies after that, as well as during her time in TNA. She'd win the TNA Knockout Championship 5 times, though, in TNA, as well as TNA Knockout Tag Team Championship once. Victoria was returned for the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble as the 10th entrant, with this being her first appearance in WWE since 2009. And I believe that to be her last match with WWE. Lita. She had her storylines with Kane. She had her feud with Trish. She had a relationship with Edge. And she even retired. She then returned to the independent circuit. But then she came back as sporadic appearances between 2007 and 2012 and would become the Hall of Famer in the class of 2014. Lita would go on to compete in the 2022 edition of the Royal Rumble and would challenge Becky Lynch to a match at Elimination Chamber for the Raw Women's Championship in February 2023. During a steel cage match between Becky Lynch and Bayley, she proceeded to assault all 3 members of Damage Control and helping Becky Lynch get the victory. On the February 27th episode of Raw, Lita would team with Becky Lynch to defeat Dakota Kai and Sky from Damage Control for the Women's Tag Team Championship. After an assist from the returning Trish Stratus, it gave Lita her first title reign since 2006. Considered one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, she won the Women's Championship 4 times, the Women's Tag Team Championships once, and of course, that 2014 Hall of Famer, as well as being an inspiration for many wrestlers currently on the roster right now. Gail Kim. During 2004, she would leave the WWE and eventually find herself at TNA, where she probably did more than she did in WWE, really. She made a much bigger name of herself. She did win the WWE Women's Championship once in WWE, but in TNA, she is the 7-time and inaugural Knockout Champion, as well as being a 1-time Knockout Tag Teams Champion, and of course is a TNA Hall of Famer. And of course, Trish Stratus, the winner of this match, having already won the Women's Championship before, this was just another notch on her bedpost. Trish, throughout her career, would become a Hall of Famer herself in 2013, as well as winning a Hardcore Championship once and becoming a 7-time Women's Champion. Along with the likes of Lita, she is considered an absolute inspiration for women and is cited as a big inspiration for a lot of today's current roster. In the 5th match of the night, Eugene would defeat Jonathan Coachman. Eugene, a interesting character gimmick. Not sure it'd fly nowadays, if I'm completely honest. Would stick with WWE until around 2007, where he would then jump onto the independent circuit, as well as going into OVW and eventually returning for sporadic spells during sort of 2009, 13 and 14. In terms of championship, didn't achieve a lot. He won the World Tag Team Championship with William Regal, which is probably more than you'd expect from the gimmick that he had. Jonathan Coachman, best known for his time on commentary more than anything, as well as a backstage interviewer before that. The occasional wrestling match. Didn't win a lot. Then again, you wouldn't expect to for the position he was in. He's alright. He does the job. The second to last match of the night, redacted, defeated Kane for the World Heavyweight Championship to keep his title. Kane. You can't have bad blood without a wrestler like Kane. Notorious, synonymous with WWE as well, really. He of course had many a gimmick before finally settling on the Kane gimmick, where he would have a storyline with Lita, team with the Big Show, a Brothers Destruction reunion, ECW champion, World Heavyweight champion, unmasking, remasking. He had Team Hell No, he had The Authority. He would eventually go on to become a Hall of Famer in 2021. In his time in WWE and WWF, he was a WWF 1-time champion, a World Heavyweight champion, an ECW champion, a WCW Tag Team champion, an Intercontinental champion twice, a Hardcore champion, a 24/7 champion, twice Tag Team champion, 9-time World Tag Team champion, and of course won a Money in the Bank in 2010. Now the Mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs, appears to have hung up his mask and boots and is focusing on a political life. In the main event, Triple H defeated Shawn Michaels in a Hell in a Cell match. Of course, we've got a Hell in a Cell match tonight as well. There was also one in the last Bad Blood pay-per-view. Now, Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania. Another man synonymous with just WWE. A complete great. There is no other words for people like Shawn Michaels. He is right up there in terms of the greatest of all-time conversations. 2004, you're sort of talking he was getting towards the end of his best phases. Finished his feud with Triple H that he had going on. They had the D-Generation X reunion the year after. All sorts of different little things, as well as a Ric Flair retirement match. One of Ric Flair's many retirement matches. And, of course, retiring after losing to The Undertaker. He's gone on to have big backstage roles and is now probably the most influential person for NXT. He's fully in charge of growing the next crop of great talents to come through WWE. He was a multiple-time Match of the Year winner from Pro Wrestling Illustrated, as well as being a WWF champion 3 times, a World Heavyweight champion 1 time, an Intercontinental champion 3 times, a European champion 1 time, a Tag Team champion 1 time, a World Tag Team champion 5 times, and a 2-time Hall of Famer. Not to mention, of course, the back-to-back to Royal Rumbles he had in 95 and 96. An absolute icon of professional wrestling. Now, of course, we'll finish with Triple H, the boss, the big man, the chief. Not the tribal one, but the head honcho. Since 2004, he's gone on to become one of the most influential people in world wrestling. Not only as a singles competitor, but as a tag team wrestler, as a sort of authority figure, as a marketer of pro wrestling to the casual audience. He took WWE from where they were, and as I would say, has definitely improved the company from where he's took it on. And things are only going better in his post-retirement era. But Triple H has been covered so much. He is just that much of an important role in pro wrestling that we wouldn't be in the same position worldwide if it wasn't for someone like Triple H. Triple H is obviously, of course, got silly amounts of accolades. He's won the WWE Championship 9 times, World Heavyweight 5 times, Intercontinental 5 times, European 2 times, Tag Team Championship 1 time, World Tag Team Championship 2 times, King of the Ring, Royal Rumble twice, Hall of Famer. Just amazing. I'd now like to go from talking about Triple H now to talking about hopefully what should be a good show for Bad Blood tonight. And if you watched this video before Bad Blood tonight, make sure you come over to our Twitch and join us and watch with us as we do a watch along. We might even have a special guest with us. Twitch.tv/The Heel Project. And until then, please leave a like, share, subscribe, turn on that notification bell and be notified every single time we have a wrestling upload. I will catch you in the next one.